So, students, we continue with the resource chapter, and today I'm going to discuss with you land resource. So, land is a natural resource of utmost importance. Now, why it is important? It is important because without land, no activities can be performed. For all kinds of activities, we need land. It supports wildlife and vegetation. So, without land, the wildlife and the vegetation cannot survive or cannot exist, or rather, it will cease to exist. Not only that, it also supports human life. That means it supports us. And not only it supports us, it supports all the activities that are associated with human beings. So, what are the activities they are associated with? They are associated with transport, communication, agriculture, industries. All these activities are performed on land. So, you understood why land is a natural resource of utmost importance. And the second thing is land is present in limited, so it should be used effectively. Now, land is a limited resource, and we cannot extend land or increase land. It is fixed, and therefore we have to use it efficiently and effectively so that we can extract maximum benefit out of it. Now let's understand land resource in India and how it's distributed all over the country. Now, if we see the land area of India, 43% of the land is plains. It provides facilities for agriculture and industry. So this 43% of the total area is plain land, and this plain land is utilized for agriculture and for industry purpose. Not only agriculture and industry, it is also important for residential purpose. The areas of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Assam, and parts of Madhya Pradesh includes this plainland. It is also known as the Northern Plain. Apart from it, the coastal plains, that is the Western Coastal Plain and the Eastern Coastal Plain, also lies in the plain area of India. Next, we come to the mountains. 30% area of our country is mountain. You know the northern India and northeastern part of India is covered with the Himalayan range, a huge mountain range with approximately 2400 kilometers length, 450-kilometer width. Apart from Himalayan range, in the northeastern region you have Garo, Khasi, Jaintia Hills, Naga Hills, Patkai Hills, the Purvanchal range. In the western side you have the Western Ghats. Southern India you have Coromandel Hills. Then you have Nilgiri Hills. You have Michael Range in the central part. apart from this, there are also Aravalli range. So these mountain ranges cover 30% of India's area. These mountain ranges ensures flow of river water and tourism as well as ecological balance. So most of the rivers originate from the mountains. Some of them are seasonal, and some of them are perennial source of waters. These mountain ranges also help us in activities like tourism, and these mountains are covered with forest areas which helps us to maintain the ecological balance of the country, because it is covered with forest. Some of them are covered with evergreen forest, some with the deciduous forest, some with the coniferous forest. And third part is plateau. 27% of the land area of India is plateau. This plateau region includes the Baghelkhand, the Bundelkhand, the Malwa plateau, the southern plateau, that is Deccan, the Chota Nagpur plateau. These plateau regions are rich in mineral resources, and therefore sometimes they are also referred to as the source or storehouse of minerals. Now here we have accounted the total land area, that is 43 plus 40, 27 plus 30, that is equal to 100% area. But in reality, or actually, we have accounted only 97% of the land. Sorry, it should be 93% of the land area, because 7% area has not been surveyed in India. Why it is not surveyed? Because in Jammu and Kashmir, part of it is controlled by Pakistan. Ladakh region, some part of it is controlled by China, and some areas of the northeastern part of India is still not surveyed by the government of India, and that constitutes 7% approximately. Degradation of land. Now, how lands get degraded or spoiled? The activities like deforestation, that is cutting down of trees, overgrazing of fields by animals, and mining and quarrying. These are some of the factors for which the soil or land gets degraded. Next we come to how can we control degradation. We can control degradation by afforestation. Afforestation means cutting down planting of more trees, control overgrazing, that we should control the overgrazing of land by our cattle, then creating shelter belts. Now here I have underlined the word shelter belt, because I am going to discuss what is shelter belt later on. Next, a proper utilization of wasteland is another aspect. And finally, control of mining activities. So controlling of mining activities is not easy, because mining is a major activity wherein we excavate the minerals, but mining should be done with proper technology and proper knowledge, and then only mining activity should be performed. Now let us understand what is shelter belt. Now, shelter belt is planting rows of trees along the desert boundary to stabilize the sand dunes or extension of desert. So what happens is, desert area increases because when strong wind blows, they carry the sand and they drop the sand to fertile land, thereby increasing the desert. So what does this shelter belt do? In shelter belt, we plant trees along the desert boundary, so that the sand dunes, the hills, small hills of sand that we see in the desert, that is stopped, move, that is stopped extending, and the sand that is carried by the wind, that is also stopped by the leaves of the trees acting as a filter. Thank you, and write down the notes in your copy.